Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United entertain Arsenal on Wednesday night. This is my preview, but also it's not going to be a lot of good news. Manchester United retain Jose Mourinho after drawing with Southampton, and guess what? Following in the footsteps of what I would call dynamic owners who don't want the rot to set in, Southampton have sacked Mark Hughes for drawing with Manchester United on Saturday. Read that back because it's a fact. They have sacked their manager after what I thought was a good performance from Southampton. They were the better team in that game. If it wasn't for Rashford, they won that game. They've sacked their manager whilst Manchester United owners decide to retain Jose Mourinho after 2 points in 9, after a terrible start to the season, negative goal difference, an absolute embarrassment, and Jose Mourinho is still Manchester United manager. We lack the ambition of Southampton and Fulham. I want Mourinho out. I've been saying it for a long time, but now eyes need to fall onto our owners because this is not... While our club's been run like a bloody bank, we are going to fail. And what makes me laugh the most is the hypocrisy. The absolute hypocrisy. We spend 90 million when you add add-ons on for Lukaku. We spend 40 million on Matic. We spend 50 million on Fred to sit on the bench and lose his Brazil squad place, but we do not pay the 20, 15 or 25 million to get rid of Mourinho. It's laughable. We are literally keeping a man in the job who is... He's sacked. He's finished. It's been obvious for months. This is just elongating the inevitable. He has to go. And they won't sack him because they want to limp through to being knocked out of the Champions League, so it reduces what they've got to pay him. It's a bloody disgrace. This is not about Mourinho now. He should not... He's finished. He's almost not even worth speaking about, apart from the fact that he's still our manager, because the board have got it wrong. They've got it so wrong. Sack him. Bloody 25 million, right? If you give him money in January, what are you going to give him? 50 million? That's half what it's going to take to get rid of him. I don't want to spend any money in January. I don't care whether the manager's Zidane. I don't care if you give it to Carrick and McKenna. Don't give him any money in January. They don't need any money. Let them do what needs to be done with this squad. Let's take the next 5-6 months of this season, work with the squad that we've got, kick out Matic, Fellaini, Lukaku, Ashley Young, work with people like Dalot, Pereira, Fred, Rashford, build a team over the next 5 months, and then in the summer, if Pogba's still crap, for example, sell him and bring in the players that we need to bring in. We don't need to sign anybody in January. Do not give Mourinho a penny, unless it's the 25 million it is to get him out the exit door. I'm embarrassed today. I'm embarrassed every day as a Manchester United fan, to be honest, but I'm embarrassed today that Southampton have sacked Mark Hughes. Now, they were in the bottom 3, to be honest, but their performance on Saturday was immeasurably better than ours. They should have won that game. Rashford's individualism got us a point. We were atrocious. Southampton were the better team. They've sacked their manager. Just let that settle. It's bloody embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And there's a bigger picture here. I know we're playing Arsenal. I know it's the Arsenal preview. But this has got to stop. This is not about banners. This is not about board out. This is about making the right decisions for Manchester United. I don't agree with the booing. I don't agree with the banners. I don't agree with the planes. I don't agree with the walkouts. That's my personal opinion. You lot will have yours. But this club is being run like a bank. And they've got to stop it. We're Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, but our mentality of being run like a football club is championship standard. It is awful. We're like Newcastle. Awful. Absolutely awful. And it's got to stop. It's a joke. Everyone is laughing at us, and it's not a funny one for United fans. So, Arsenal versus Manchester United on Wednesday night. Arsenal come as favourites. 100% they are the favourites. They will never have a bigger opportunity to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford. They've not done it in the league for 11 years. I've got a funny feeling they're not going to do it on Wednesday. I think this is part of the nightmare it is as a Manchester United fan now. Mourinho should be sacked. He should already be gone. But the longer they keep him, it gives him more opportunities to go and get a dodgy win and keep himself in for another 5 games. And I feel that Wednesday night will be that. And I think even if we lose on Wednesday, it's only 3 days till the Fulham game. He'll stay in the job. And then it's only 3 days till the Valencia game. And then it's only 3 days till the Liverpool game. He's going to stay. I can see him being here. And I think it's just about how much the fans want to put up with. I mean, as Rance said last night on the show, he's not going to the game on Wednesday. He's got a season ticket. Not going. I'm not going. I'm not going up there to watch this crap. I was offered tickets on Wednesday. No way. I was offered tickets for Fulham. No way. I'm not going. That's my personal opinion. It's a long travel for me, and I don't really fancy it. And that doesn't make me a bad fan. It doesn't make me a good fan. It's up to you. You've all got your personal opinion. Some of you think booing's fine. It's personal opinion. But Arsenal, watching them yesterday was the first time I saw them last season. To the left is my team that I think Mourinho will pick. I'm sure it won't be totally right, but I'm going on the fact that Jose Mourinho has obliterated Paul Pogba again, tried to force the blame on him. Well done, Jose, because there's a lot of people on social media calling Pogba, get that cretin out of our club, he's lazy, he's a dab merchant, he's a waste of space. I just want to say this. Who signed Paul Pogba? Yeah, before you come back at me, who signed Paul Pogba? Yeah, Jose Mourinho, so it's his fault. Oh yeah, and also the Man City game a few weeks ago, when we didn't have Paul Pogba, the Mourinho sympathisers, well, it's not a bad result because we didn't have Pogba. But here you are, Mourinho sympathisers again. Oh, it's all on Pogba. Mourinho, without Pogba in that Man City game, it was the white flag pantomime. It was the worst derby ever. We were absolutely soulless, gutless, bent over and took it. Terrible. And we didn't have Pogba that day. So you can't have it both ways. Yes, Pogba should be doing a lot more, but maybe he's as fed up as what's going on as what we are. Pogba cannot play against Arsenal. Mourinho is a bloody hypocrite if he picks Pogba on Wednesday night, because he's absolutely roasted him. He's blamed him for what happened on Saturday. If you've got any balls left between your legs, Mourinho, you've got to drop Paul Pogba. If you pick Pogba, you are you are the problem anyway, but you are gutless. You cannot blame and feed it out through the media that you've absolutely embarrassed him in the dressing room and then pick him on Wednesday. You've got to follow through with your actions. So if Pogba cannot play, I bet he will play, but I'm going to go with the fact that Mourinho is Billy Big Bollocks and he will drop him. Let's see what happens. De Gea in goal. Either Smalling or Bay's got to be back, and I think Smalling will be back. So Smalling and Jones. Obviously, Jones played well. We're going through the cycle of Phil Jones at the moment. Out injured, comes back, plays quite well. Second stage makes a big mistake. Third stage gets himself injured. Fourth stage out for a few months. So we're going through the playing well at the stage with Jones at the moment. Luke Shaw left back. Ashley Young's suspended, so I would hope Dalot, but I would suspect, when does Mourinho ever go with youth? So Valencia. Obviously, his two favourites in the midfield, in the spine, Matic, Fellaini and Lukaku through in the middle. No Pogba, so it should be Fred. It could be Herrera, to be honest. I probably should have put Herrera in there. Martial's got to play on the left. I don't know why he didn't play on Southampton. I'm just erring on the side that maybe he was being rested. I don't know why you'd do that. There you go. And obviously, I'll play Marcus Rashford on the right. Both goals we scored came from work where Marcus Rashford was to the right side of the pitch. Especially the second goal where he dribbled past people. Put Marcus Rashford on the right hand side and you know, at least we've got some good players left and right there with Martial and Rashford. Now whether he'll do that or not, I don't know, but that's the team that I would go with. Looking at Arsenal, my score prediction is that United never get smashed. We never get smashed by anybody, so I don't think we're about to get smashed now. But I would think if United are going to win this game, it's going to be 1-0 or 2-1. The reason I say that is United will never beat a top team 2 or 3-0, because if Mourinho does get in a winning position, he'll park the bus. That's what he does. So we're never going to beat Arsenal by 2 or 3 goals, I don't think, because he will park the bus. Unless they get someone sent off or something like that, and we go for it. I think if we're going to win this game, and I've got a funny feeling we will, because we always beat Arsenal. David Moyes beat Arsenal. So we always beat Arsenal in the league at Old Trafford. So I just got this funny feeling that we will. There's no logic to it. The logical result is Arsenal come up and absolutely, play us off the park. But I don't think they'll smash us. I think they'll win. I think it's either going to be 1-0 or 2-1 to each side. I don't see it being 3-2 or anything like that. The issue with United and what I've seen from Arsenal, because to be honest, the derby yesterday was a fantastic game, Spurs versus Arsenal, but it was the first time I'd really watched Arsenal this season. I know about Torreira from watching Italian football. I'm amazed. Baby, I'm amazed. I have to sing to make myself get positivity in my blood, because it's boiling when I talk about United and Mourinho at the moment. It amazes me that no one went for Torreira, no big clubs. And that's no disrespect to Arsenal, but you're in the Europa League. We'll probably be there next year, if we're lucky. But Torreira was a good player in Italian football, and he's a player a bit like Kante at Leicester when Chelsea were in the Europa League and they got him. People sleeping on these sort of players. Very dynamic, very good player. They're missing Xhaka, who is actually been quite good this season for them. I know he's always been a joke point, but he's been good, so I think they'll miss him. But they've got Aaron Ramsey who can come in. Obviously, they've got options up front. They've got Iwobi on the left. They've got Mkhitaryan. They've got Aubameyang. They've got Lacazette. And their defence isn't great, but it's not, it's probably slightly better than ours. Leno's not a bad goalkeeper. Their system, they played against Spurs, was quite good. But I think the thing that I saw about Arsenal is that they're still very good on the ball. Emery's got them well organised. They seem to have they're a very good second half team, which is probably not what Arsenal were under Wenger. They were a bit spineless, so he's inserting a spine into their team and a bit of guts. They're clinical with their chances. They can create chances because these are top players. They've got, Lacazette's an international. Aubameyang, for me, I think United should have gone for him a couple of years ago. How did we end up with concrete boots for 75 million when we could have had Aubameyang? I do not know. I'm not a big fan of Arsenal. They are the Premier League's biggest era was the late 90s when it was us against Arsenal, and that's where that rivalry comes from. They've obviously got some very smug football fans who will be lauding it up if we lose, which is just another L for us to take as a fan base. But I would say that Torreira and Aubameyang are two players that I will not, despite not really liking Arsenal, I will put my hands up, as we seem to be doing a lot this season. I seem to be saying I like what Klopp's doing at Liverpool, despite the fact I don't like Liverpool. I like what Sarri's doing at Chelsea. Look at what Pep's doing at Man City. We're just having to look at our rivals and applaud them in a sort of respectful way, because we've got nothing. We've got nothing to be proud of in our team. Little glimpses, nothing sustained, no consistency. It's a bloody embarrassment. But Torreira and Aubameyang for Arsenal are two players that I really, really do like. I think they would make a massive amount of difference to Manchester United. Kick Matic out, send him back to Serbia, stick Torreira in as your CDM, kick Lukaku out, send him back to Sainsbury's car park, put Aubameyang up front, get Mourinho out and a manager who just wants to play a bit of expansive football, and United would be fine. I don't think we're a long way off. I think we've got many of the players we need. We've just got the wrong manager and the wrong tactics, and a couple of players that shouldn't be wearing United shirts, i.e. Matic and Lukaku. So we've got to be careful about that. We've got to be careful about Aubameyang, obviously, and I think Arsenal will have a lot of the ball. I don't know how do we beat Arsenal is something that I think is a very, very good point. You beat Arsenal by sorting your midfield out. You beat Arsenal by playing Herrera, Pogba and Fred. You beat Arsenal by moving the ball from back to front quickly. You beat Arsenal by being tenacious and aggressive. And you beat Arsenal by, stop dropping heads and having a bit of leadership. And can we do that? You know what? I think we can. I think United are capable of winning any game as a one-off, because a lot of these players are international players. They've won things in the past. They've got big reputations. As a one-off, they can do it. But as I said at the weekend, to be honest with you, if Mourinho was sacked 5 minutes before kickoff and Ed Woodward walked in and went, just sort it out yourselves, I think they'd put in a better performance than what they're going to put in with the tactics of Jose Mourinho. And that is the sad thing. We might grind something out in this result, in this game. We might grind something out. I mean, football's weird. Superstition's very big in football, and I think that what my biggest superstition is that I think Fellaini is a bit of a Jonah at Manchester United. I think he's a bad luck charm. I do. I've said it. And in football, I believe in superstitions, and I think you look at, since Fellaini's been at the club, he's the only one that's been here from the first day of the season that Sir Alex Ferguson left. Pretty much, I think he started on September the 1st, didn't he? So right at the start, and he's still here now. Moyes is gone. He was the one. There was only Moyes and Fellaini who came in, and I just think Fellaini, I know he tries really hard, but I think he symbolises what United shouldn't be, and I think he's a bit of a bad luck charm. I also think Arsenal coming to Old Trafford, there might be that mental block as well, that superstition thing that they never really win in the league. They haven't won, I think, for 11 years. So I'm going to say United can win this game, but I'm doing it basically on total and utter magical. I've got butterflies in my head. I've got magic thoughts, magic in my head, because there's no logic. I just think United are going to win because we normally beat Arsenal. If you're looking at this pragmatically, Arsenal have to win this game of football. It's there for them to do it. Absolutely straight bang on for them to do it. So, yeah. I mean, I just also want to bring something else in here, and let me just get this right for you. For anybody who's actually interested in this, and you should be interested in this, and most of all, the people who should be interested in this are the board, because they like figures, right? So these are the 6 seasons since Sir Alex Ferguson left after 14 games. 2013, after 14 games, 25 points under Moyes, who was a disaster. I remember losing to West Brom at home and stuff. He was rubbish, but he had 25 points after 14 games. First season with Van Gaal, after 14 games, 25 points. Second season under Van Gaal, after 14 games, 28 points. First season under Mourinho in 2016, 21 points. Last season, 32 points. This season, 22 points. So Mourinho's 22 points this season is worse than any season Moyes or Van Gaal had. And the only thing Mourinho had that was going for him was last season, where we sort of did keep pace with City. But we're just at 22 points minus goal difference. 2 points from Crystal Palace and Southampton. We're sinking. We're absolutely sinking. And the only people who refuse to accept that sinking are Mourinho, the board, and a few, I would say, absolutely lollipop lane, fantasy world, Mourinho-inists who want to blame it on the players. And if you want to blame it on the players, who am I to tell you? We've got a call in tonight at 8 o'clock. Call in and have your say. But if you want to blame it on the players, please tell me why it's individual players' fault and not a manager who's been here 3 years. Especially when the manager keeps picking those players. If Paul Pogba is such a negative influence on this United side, why has he played over 90% of our games this season? Because Pogba and Mourinho haven't been getting on since the summer. Since Pogba won the World Cup and Mourinho publicly took the piss out of him before he'd even come back from the World Cup, they've had things going on all season. Drop him. What if he's such a bad influence? Drop him. You've got a £50 million player that you bought in the summer who could play in Pogba's position. So, even if you want to go down that road that this is all Paul Pogba's fault, which I totally disagree, the manager's still picking him. The manager is in charge of the supermarket. He's in charge of the company. He's in charge of the football team. The manager, wherever they are in life, they are in charge. And if they've got somebody who they feel is a virus, you remove it. Whether it's Paul Pogba, whether it's Anthony Martial, whether it's David De Gea, you remove it. So he's not done that. So that's weak managementship. Maybe the next manager comes in and says, you know what, Pogba is a bloody nightmare. And we all go, well, Mourinho was right, but he should have dealt with it. And also, my biggest bugbear is what I've said before. Pogba this season has had 2 really bad performances. I think Southampton and Brighton, he was very, very poor. Matic has been terrible all season. Lukaku is the biggest joke I've ever seen up front for Manchester United, and I've seen some jokes. I don't think people like Ashley Young have been that good this season. I don't think I think there's plenty of people who've been consistently worse than Paul Pogba. And I think it's a bit of a witch hunt. I think it's a bit of a bitch hunt, to be honest. And I think people are having their wool pulled over their eyes by a manager who is the master of manipulation. And ultimately, maybe there is an issue with some of these players, but he's in charge and he doesn't need to pick them. We've got a massive squad. In the Matic and Pogba positions, you've got Fred, Herrera, Pereira. All 3 good players, I think, can play those positions. He doesn't pick them. He persists with those 2. That's a managerial decision. Unless there's some rumour unless there's something out there that we're not aware of, that Paul Pogba is bullying Mourinho, taking him into the dressing room, pinning him up against the wall and saying, pick me and I'm going to play crap on purpose till you get the sack. Unless there's some sensationalist nonsense story like that, which there clearly isn't, for me, it always comes back onto the manager. And I'll start, where I'll finish really, that I just think that we are in a situation, well, I'm not finished actually, we're in a situation where this is on the board now. Yeah, Mourinho out, 100%, got to go. But the board are responsible for that. And they should have got rid of him by a long time ago. And the fact that teams like Southampton are sacking their manager for drawing us and we're keeping Mourinho. I'm still expecting every time I go on social media to see Mourinho sacked. I don't think reality is, I know it's not going to happen, but fact is it should have happened. And for anybody who wants to say, well, they should have backed him with a centre-back. As I keep saying, Dalot and Fred cost 70 million. He's hardly played either of them. He didn't need Dalot. Dalot was bought a year in advance because he's got Jones and he's got Young and Valencia. Fred, I think we needed him, never picks him. So that's 70 million he could have bought on one of his wonder centre-backs that would have solved the world peace and won Manchester United the league this year and not have us in negative goal difference. The reality is, there are rumours out there that Manchester United wanted Skriniar and Koulibaly. It's a load of crap. United did want them that were priced out long early in the summer. The key targets United were scrapping for in the final month of the transfer window were Godin, Harry Maguire and Jerome Boateng. You're telling me one of those 3 players would have solved our problems this season? Godin is into his early 30s. He's a very good centre-back with very little pace who's never played in the Premier League. And you want him to come into the Premier League and solve a whole Manchester United back 4 and move the ball from back to front quickly. Never going to happen. Harry Maguire is a decent Premier League centre-back, but again, massively inexperienced at the highest level, and he's not going to solve a whole centre-back, a whole defence. And Boateng, don't even start me on him. He is like a lorry with biscuit wheels going through a big lake of hot tea. He's just going to dissolve and sink. Never. He's so slow as well. So they're the centre-backs that Mourinho wanted. Don't start falling into this trap that we're in for Alderweireld, because we weren't. Don't start thinking Skriniar and Koulibaly were ever on the equation, because they weren't. We were looking at Godin, Boateng and Harry Maguire. And we got priced out by Harry Maguire. Godin decided to stay. And Boateng, to be fair, the rumour is the board refused to pay the money for what is effectively a donkey. So none of those players would have solved the problems anyway. So I think whatever junction you want to go down, Mourinho's been found out. But I think now, as I say, with this Southampton thing with Mark Hughes, it just embarrasses us further. The board are basically, all they're bothered about is money. They will not pay the 25 million because they're going to wait till we're knocked out of the Champions League. And that is going to cost us 2, 3, 4 months of development. Because the season's over. We're not getting top 4. I personally, as I said last night, I don't think we're going to get top 4 even with the new manager. But what we could do is something really positive. Don't spend any money on January for Mourinho, which is going to save us about 50 million. Use that 50 million to sack him. You've still got 25 million pound in your pocket. Bring a new manager in, which is probably going to be another 25 million. So that 50 we're going to give to Jose has been used on sacking him and getting a new manager in. Then give the new manager 6 months to look at this squad, work with what we've got, figure out what he needs, what he doesn't need, and then next season he's got the summer to buy and sell, and he's got next season to go for it. Just get a new manager in. I think we're all going to be patient. Is any of you lot would not be patient if we got a new manager in now? I'm not expecting them to come in and get top 4. Forget that. All I want to see is a change in the style of football, some progression, and I'll be proud of that. And yeah, we might lose some games. We might go and lose to Huddersfield or something like that because we've got a new manager and we're trying new things. But it's very hard to do that in the middle of the season. But it's exactly the brave decision that we need to do because a new manager coming in the summer, they've got no games to try things out. They've got to try and understand what their squad's about while they're all on holiday. They've got a very short transfer window to get players in and out, and they'll probably keep a lot of the deadwood again just to see what they're all about in their mind. Get them in now. Get it on now. Get your comments in below. Lots of you to talk about what you're thinking about the Hughes sacking. What does it mean about our board and Mourinho? What are your thoughts about the Arsenal game? Can we win it? How do we win it? Arsenal fans, if you are watching, you're never going to have such a great opportunity. And if you win, we're 11 points off 4th place. How does the manager continue? How does he continue? This must be Mourinho's last game if we lose. But would you bet on it? I personally don't think it will be. Get your comments in below. And remember, 8 o'clock tonight, it is the call-in show. Looking forward to getting your thoughts. And we've got lots of preparation for the Arsenal game coming up with Flex and Rants. And I think he's doing a bit with Arsenal Fan TV as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Subscribe. Smash a like on the video. And I'll speak to you all soon.